Welcome back to Geek Out Is Say. It's Friday and we're having fun. We're going to be talking about actors that have ruined geeky movies today, so yeah.
I don't like actors. I think they're subhuman.
I like some actors.
I don't actually know any of them. Well, no, I've met some of them and they're not so great, so I don't know. But yeah, well, I'm going to talk about like their job, not them as people.
Yeah. Because we don't really
know them as people. Like, I'm just jelly because they have a lot of money and I don't.
But before we get to that, I do have my last loot crate from what, February? That I have never opened.
March's.
Is it March's?
I think. But this should be his last one. I should have like worn all black or something, like so I could be sad and like.
Loot crate last one. Well, I don't know. I'm not sad because they haven't been great.
Yeah, no, they've kind of been like really awful, so that's why we canceled. And I was really too lazy to cancel, and it took a lot for me to hate you enough for me to cancel. Like.
So, we have a Black Panther T-shirt.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I don't hate it. Cool. We just have a lot of T-shirts, so.
Yeah.
But this is good. I like this because it's one we don't have. I'm okay. I don't hate that. And you're like, and then it all went downhill from there.
And then we have, it looks like a ship from Expanse.
I don't even know what Expanse is. Don't open it. We don't even know what it is. We don't even like it.
I can open it so I can see what it looks like. It's real dark.
Don't do it. It's lame. Not lamb lame.
Not lamb lame.
You're struggling over there.
Yeah, we are talking about...
You're on the struggle bus. We are going to talk about actors. Didn't I say don't open it, and now you're trying to get me involved in these shenanigans? It's some stupid little ship. It looks dumb. I don't like it. Okay, next. Boo. Here, give me that. I'm going to put it up. Lame. Lame. I don't even know what The Expanse is. It's a show, I guess. I mean, Avi. Is it like they specifically...
Oh, it's a Loot Crate pin. It's toothless.
Oh, cute. I'm going to keep that. No, I'll probably give it to Nick because he collects pins. Wow. You're not a good thrower. Vince doesn't play
look.
Sports. It is toothless.
It's the Pacific Rim Uprising coasters. We've been needing coasters. So now we have Pacific Rim coasters.
They're like cardboard.
No, it's cork.
It's cork? Oh, okay. I was like, it's cardboard. Oh, these aren't horrible. They're not great, but...
They're not great.
Yeah. It's like they knew this was our last one, and they were like, really? You're going to cancel on us? Here's all the garbage.
It's a wasteland from Fallout.
Nobody cares.
This one, yeah.
This was horrible.
I'm actually glad I...
Thank you for making me feel better about canceling your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, one of the reasons I wanted to cancel was because, yes, it had gotten to be, like, garbage like this.
And then we're, like, loaded with tons of boxes that we can't do anything with.
Well, and now we're starting to get too many collectibles. Like, I would rather just spend my money on a collectible that I really want rather than all of this. So...
Than, like, a guessing
So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Your loot crate has gone into the sky. No, I don't know. Get out of here, loot crate. Boom.
McKenna says the Expanse is awesome, so. Okay. And Fulgor is on, and then we have Big Red King on as well.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, pre-subscribe to us and click the bell, and you'll get notifications when we go live. So, in case you didn't know, you click it and it'll shoot you a little email or a little notification. But
wait, one more piece of business.
Okay, one more piece of business.
Before we go on to our main topic, you have one more thing on your desk that you need to address really quickly.
Oh, yes. And I got this for my Superman shrine. And this is to Vince. Keep on geeking out from the guys of Squirrel Jerky Pictures. Stay nutty.
Yeah. So Vince has this whole shrine thing that I've built to him over here to Superman because he has Superman. Like, Superman is his guy, right? That's his guy. So he's got ugly dolls and figures, and he's got like a fake candle with Superman on it, and there's like all kinds of Superman pop figures, bobbleheads, metal ones.
This will be going on my shrine.
I'm like, one day I should turn my camera around and just show y'all his shrine over there because it's pretty impressive. In fact, it's so large. I took part of his shrine upstairs to the guest room, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we can, since we're talking about actors that ruin geeky characters, I guess we can start with Superman. Because Superman is definitely one that has had some hits and misses when we're talking about actors. And Superman's been around a lot, and we've had TV shows and we've had movies for Superman.
Yeah, I don't know that there were any big misses with Superman.
Really? You didn't think that Brandon, what was his name? He was
Roth.
Roth. He was just the one time.
Yeah.
He wasn't terrible, but he just wasn't it. For me,
he was. He really, out of all of them, he looked more like Christopher Reeves than any of the other than Henry Cavill.
So he did look more like Christopher Reeve, but Christopher Reeve is Christopher Reeve. So I think this is one of the things that we need to talk about is when we have these iconic actors that are in these roles, right, and we love them because I love Christopher Reeve. Like, I grew up with Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve is the reason that I love Superman because of the way he personified that character. Not only that, but the Clark Kent side, too. He was very much, like, very lovable as Clark Kent and very, like, tripping over himself. I just
bumbling,
love...
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of him.
I love Christopher Reeve.
I don't think that anybody has gotten that kind of bumbling down... Not as well as Christopher Reeve.
So I don't think that there's replacing him. So then it falls to how do you not try to replace him but find someone who can do as well as he did, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're not in this pitfall of we're in Christopher Reeve's universe and we're going backwards and forwards because we're going to talk about that in a little while too.
Right.
But it's just this is somebody's idea of Superman. This is somebody else's. So the thing I like about Henry Cavill is he reminds me more, and maybe it's just because of his build and some of it is his face, he reminds me more of some of the comic book Superman stuff that I've read, some of the graphic novel, depending on the artist that you read. Mm-hmm. And I like some of the artists that do that kind of build on Superman like Henry Cavill has.
A much larger build than was previously done before.
And he takes Clark to a more quiet brooding, which I've seen in the comic universe too, is that kind of quiet brooding. So he takes him to that place. So I think Henry Cavill is another good actor. I didn't think Brandon Roth he looked a little more like Christopher Reeve, but I didn't think, I don't know, he didn't work for me. I don't think that he had that like Superman, he's different. Like, he has this presence. He's Clark. He's either quiet and reserved or bumbling and nerdy, and then he has this presence, this quiet presence. Yeah. Well, and then what about?
I'm kind of.
So
Nicolas Cage Superman.
But that never came out. So we didn't have to endure that. That would have been horrible. No, that would have been horrible. I've seen that documentary a couple of times. That would have been horrible.
He is voicing.
I heard that. I heard that he is voicing that. And that might not be so horrible. What about on Supergirl? So I have grown to love Supergirl and the actress that they have as Supergirl. But that guy from Teen Wolf.
It's
not Tyler Perry. It's something. Yeah.
Hochin.
He was on Teen Wolf first, and then he plays Superman on the Supergirl show. He is not a good Superman. I'm sorry. I like him in Teen Wolf. He was great in Teen Wolf, and maybe some of the problem is I've typecast him in my mind, but I don't think it's so much that. It's that he's not
But I don't think we've seen him in that role enough for him to really do anything with it. We saw him for 2 episodes?
Yeah. I just have an instantaneous dislike for him. It doesn't work for me.
He doesn't look like Superman.
Yeah, I just don't get that feel for I feel like he should be Zod or something. It's something in his face. Yeah. Because there are certain characters that there are facial features and things that you're expecting.
He has a chiseled face, but it's chiseled wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost see him more as Zod, right? Don't you?
But I do... No, I don't know about
I don't
that.
know him. Something in his
But
eye, like he's got beady eyes, like he's evil or something.
But I did like him as Clark. When he's playing Clark, it's much better than it is Superman.
It's okay. Of course, for me, the best Clark is... Oh, jeez. I am really drawing a blank today with these actors' names. I even tried to remember them, and we talked about them beforehand, so I wouldn't forget. Who's the kid that was on Smallville that's on Lucifer now? He's not a kid anymore. He's a grown-up man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. What is his name?
Darn it. I don't know. I don't remember.
Look him up really quickly because he is Clark for me. And maybe that's because we watched Smallville for so long.
He's not a bumbling Clark.
No, but Clark doesn't have to be.
He's like he's a pre-Superman.
Dean Cain?
No,
not Dean Cain.
After Dean Cain.
It's in the show called Smallville. The show is...
Tom Welling.
Tom Welling, yes. He was in that 13 Kids with the Steve Martin thing. Yeah.
Cheaper by the Dozen.
By the Dozen, yeah. Tom Welling. You didn't think he was a good Clark? Because I thought he was... And maybe, like I said, it's because we got so used to him.
I don't think he was the Clark we think of when we think of Superman. Because this is before he's that.
Right, because it's in his, like, teenage years, and so he's coming up to become who he is. Yeah. Well, yeah, and the bumbling Clark is an act, right? You know, so... I don't know. I really liked him. I didn't have a problem with him. I didn't have a huge problem with...
But the thing about that, it wasn't the Clark that we know, but it was just a younger one that was coming into his own.
And I didn't have a huge problem with Dean Cain, like, in the time, because in the time when that was Lois and Clark was made, we didn't have as much exposure as we have now to all these different possibilities. So I think looking back,
Dean Cain was probably the worst Superman.
Cain was probably the worst. He probably was, bless his heart. And I like him, but he probably was the worst. Yeah.
Everybody's... Yeah, Tom Welling.
Yeah, Tom Welling. Tom Welling. And I like Tom Welling on Lucifer. But I really liked Tom Welling. And maybe because we were looking at that, we were looking at Superman from
But we were really vested in the show.
Yes. But he did well at being that, like, vulnerable kid and trying, because you think of Superman as, you know, that vulnerability, and he's got all this ability, like, you know, such amount of ability, and he's trying to fit into our world and be part of us and fit into his adopted family, and who is he, and his people are all gone. So I think that Tom Welling did a good job of showing us those struggles that he was going through growing up, that we may not see as much reading some of the comics or anything.
I would really like to see him as an older age Superman.
Now that I see him on Lucifer, though, I don't know if as an adult he could pull it off.
I can see him as an older Superman.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really liking Henry Cavill. I'm hoping, since we bought Justice League, that they fix the CGI.
Yeah.
Because that was really distracting, and I didn't think Justice League was horrible, and I like Henry Cavill as Superman. It's too bad that he
was under contract during that time.
Right.
It's not like he said, "Oh no, I don't want to shave my face." He was under contract. He couldn't shave.
Right. He couldn't shave because it was for that role. You would think men's facial hair grows so fast, you would think that they would let him shave it and run the scenes and then wait, you know, film some other things and then grow the mustache. But I don't know, maybe to have one that luxurious that's like
McKenna says she got to tour the Dean Cain sets.
Oh, really?
That's really cool.
That is very cool. Yeah. Yeah, because like at the time, like I was saying, we didn't have the exposure that we have now, so it wasn't... Like, it took some getting used to, but it wasn't
Lois and Clark
horrible.
was campy, but it wasn't quite as campy as...
Like Ash versus the Evil Dead.
What was it called? Superman, the one with the black and white one. The show. Was it just Superman?
Adventures of Superman?
Adventures of Superman, yeah.
George Reeves.
With George Reeves.
He's my Superman.
He's your Superman. You like him?
I like him better than a lot of the others.
Really? So I think that in lies the problem is, number one, Well, now with comics are very visual, right? So you already have this visualization of what these characters would look like. And you do have different artists that come in and give you different visualizations. So it's kind of a matter of what aesthetic you like best. So then they have to deal with that, right? First is, what is this aesthetic? And then the second thing they have to deal with is, what is this character? What is this personification? So like with Logan, for example, with Wolverine. I don't think they could have found anybody better than Hugh Jackman.
I disagree.
You think Tom Cruise?
I think Tom Cruise would have made
I think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Would have made an awesome
The most ridiculous
Wolverine.
thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
And he
don't know what this man is talking about.
Apparently, he was supposed to be in for the role, but
No, Bob Hoskins was going to be the best Wolverine.
He's too old.
Back when they were going to do it in the 80s.
He's too goofy.
I'm just thinking Roger Rabbit.
Well, yeah.
he had no hair.
Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, you can put hair on. I don't know. Some of the X-Men comics were some of the ones that I read the most when I was growing up, aside from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I don't know, Hugh Jackman he has the look down, he has the attitude down, he has the angst down.
I'm not saying they wouldn't that he's not a great Wolverine. He is a great Wolverine.
I cannot believe
but here's the
that
thing.
you think...
He's too tall.
But they work their magic and you don't really... That doesn't...
He's too tall. He's supposed to be much shorter and much stockier.
But Tom Cruise just doesn't have the right face. He doesn't look like Wolverine. Again, I already have this aesthetic from the comics. I already know what this character should look like. Tom Cruise does not look like that. Unless they did a lot of prosthetic work on his face. Maybe.
Now that he's older?
It's Tom Cruise.
No, he still looks the same.
He looks the same.
He looks older now than
he looks like Tom Cruise. No, he looks the same. His face is a little bit fuller. He's a little, no. I absolutely no. I hope somebody in there is telling you that you're nuts.
Everybody says that Vince is smoking crack.
Thank the Lord, because Vince is smoking it hardcore. No, give him an oof for that one. Do you see the oof button?
I'll
give him an oof. You get an oof.
Oof.
Oof. Because it's terrible. No. So one of the things, though, I like about Logan and stuff is, so the comics went with Old Man Logan, which I didn't even know it was called Old Man Logan. It's funny because when Logan came out, I was like, oh my God, it's Old Man Logan. And then everybody's like, yeah, of course it is. And then I didn't get it for a while. I was like,
I told you that.
I know. Well, you were one of the people that were telling me, and I was like, I don't get it. And you're like, that's what they call him. I'm like, well, duh, because he's Old Man Logan. And they're like, no, really, that's what they call him. That's the name of the book. And I was like, oh, it didn't dawn on me, right? So Hugh Jackman is not super old yet, right? He's not in his 60s, 70s. So it's easy to age him up and do that kind of movie. And then I heard that they are planning on writing a new comic series with Harley Quinn, which is funny because Harley's DC and Logan is Marvel, but where they're going to make old lady Harley. They're going to age her forward, and it's going to be like a Mad Max futuristic.
They aged her in, what was it, Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
I think Harley Quinn was in there at older.
But again, cartoon.
Yeah.
So we're talking live action. So what
Tom
did
Cruise gets a geek role, it should be Link.
So what was the name? What's the name of the actress who's Harley? It's Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie. So she is currently Harley. I think she, from Suicide Squad, I think she's an excellent Harley. I think she is really excellent. Really fits the character well. And so we can age her forward. I think that would be an easy thing if they decide to go with that. I'd watch that movie. I think that would be a cool movie. So it's easy for these actors that are still in our age bracket. You can kind of age us down.
You're talking about aging them, but what about when you come in and then you have Han Solo and this kid that they're having do Han Solo, which I don't know that he has. I mean, that was the main thing that we're going to be talking about today, because I think that's I don't know. At first, I thought, yeah, maybe he could do it, but just by looks. But I don't think he can act that way. And apparently, he can because they have to get
at all.
They have to get him acting lessons to be more like.
That might be the thing. That might be the whole.
No, I really don't think that this kid can act. Actually, I didn't think he was very good in that Hail Caesar with George Clooney in them. I thought
he played his character well, but
that's
maybe
the character that's the only character he can play,
yeah.
right? We've seen some of these actors where that's the only character they play every time you see them. It's like a chick from Twilight. That's the only character she can play, and she plays it every time. If she's in Snow White or whatever, she's the same freaking character, right? Harrison Ford as Han Solo is like part of this universe that we all wanted to become part of. We all grew up with it. It was super important to us. You have a huge cult following for not only this universe, but for Han Solo. Like, Han Solo is the it. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be Han Solo. Like, he didn't put up with anybody. He, like, kind of, like, he loved other people, but he wasn't going to tell you. Like, he was too cool for that. Like, there is so much depth and everything to Han Solo and mannerisms. Why didn't they make this kid watch these movies over and over and over? At the very least, you should be able to pick up that actor's mannerisms and be that character.
But should he have all those developed mannerisms at that time because he developed those over time?
No, but I think
he should have some of them. To an extent, definitely.
He should have some of them.
Some of them should be intuitive, but maybe some of the swagger wasn't quite there.
No, but don't you feel like with Han Solo, yes, it was there. He was you've met little kids and they kind of grow up to be that same person like forever, right? You just kind of get this feeling with Han Solo that Han Solo was always Han Solo, right? He didn't kind of grow into himself like Superman grows into himself or anything. Like Han Solo that's who he is. I don't know, in my mind. Like, I want to see a young Han Solo who is still Han Solo. Like, I feel like that's just kind of who he was. His growth happened actually more as an adult when he learns to let go of some of that swagger and open himself up to caring about other humans and to that love. Like, I don't think his growth comes as a young man. His growth comes more as an adult. As a young man, we should see more of the swagger and the cocky, and I'm, in my opinion, and maybe I'm off I'm off base or something, but but I actually, it's funny because my students this year are much more geeky than students I've had in the past. Like, I have some really, really geeky, I have some really good groups, and they just like bring me joy. Nice. And so we were having like this raging discussion about this today because they were so excited to go see this movie, and now that they've seen some of the trailers, they're like, seriously? Like, I'm still going to go. I'm going to be there the first day, right? But I'm pretty sure already that I'm going to be disappointed. Like, it just doesn't work for me.
Lando by was Danny Glover? I think
Lando's going to be good. So that was the one thing we talked about. Like, Danny Glover's got acting chops, right? He does. Danny Glover has acting chops. And the way they did his makeup and everything, he looks the part. I've seen some of the scenes. He seems like Lando, right? I think he's going to pull off Lando, and I think we're going to find out that he steals that movie. I think he's going to steal that movie.
But we haven't seen this kid. I mean, maybe they gave him good acting lessons. I don't know.
From what I can see in the trailers, it doesn't work. It doesn't seem like it's going to work. Now, I'm going to go watch it and see what happens.
But they haven't really shown him much.
Yeah. I don't know.
You get a glimpse of him. That's it.
I know. There's just something about his face. Like, have you ever, in Step Brothers, where he's like, "There's just something about your face, like that I want to hit you." Like, there's something about that kid's face when I see him as Harrison. I just want to hit him. Like, he doesn't work for me. And I don't know that like a young actor. I'm not saying like, oh, Taylor Lautner or whatever. I mean, because he's really cute.
Oh, and yes, David. Yes, we talked about this earlier in the show, so he just made a comment right now that he looks like he's going to be the talk of the Solo movie.
Lando. So I don't know, like if you had to cast for Han Solo out of some of the young actors that are available.
Donald Glover is Donald Glover. It's Danny Glover.
Oh, Danny Glover's from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. It's one of the Glovers.
Whatever. We don't know their names. You know who we're talking about. You know who I would have thought... Okay, I don't know the actor's name because I'm bad at their names because I don't know who they are. I don't like them. But the kid who was in The Maze Runner who plays Styles on Teen Wolf, I think he would have been a good Harrison Ford. What is that kid's name? My phone died. I'm not able to look it up.
Gosh.
All I can think of is Tyler Perry, but he's the actual Teen Wolf. So it's Styles from Teen Wolf, and he was in The Maze Runner. He has that attitude almost already as Styles on Teen Wolf. And I think he has more of that look like Harrison Ford.
Dylan O'Brien.
Thank you. Dylan O'Brien. Look up that kid if you don't know who I'm talking about. Tell me what you think. If you think that kid would have been... What do you think, Vince? Like, who do you think? Do you think I'm on the right track, or you think there's somebody different?
He's close.
I think so. I think he's close.
He's very close.
The only other kid actor I was thinking that's like young-ish, like TV, is the kid that plays Jughead on Riverdale.
Yeah.
And he would have been good too. I think those two were both good. Would have been good choices.
But maybe he's too young.
Maybe he is too young. Yeah, because I think he's supposed to be kind of in his 20s. Although they can kind of, age him forward a little bit. It's easier to age forward, I think.
That's Cole Sprouse.
Carl Sprouse, is that his name? Okay, Carl Sprouse.
Google.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Stuart Google, for telling me who these actors are.
Thanks, Mr. Producer.
I should be asking Alexa. She would know.
Alexa.
Alexa,
Tell us who we're talking about.
Who's Styles from Teen Wolf? Who's the actor?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Of course you
I
don't
know
that
anything.
one.
But she can turn on the studio lights.
Yeah.
We just won't make her do that. So yeah, I think this is another reason why Black Panther did so well, was because they just picked all the right people, right? They just picked all the right people.
For which one?
For Black Panther.
Oh,
there was like no missteps in that movie. It was all the right people. And why the movie like Fantastic Four died so hard was because they picked all the wrong people. It's just very obvious, I think, when you pick all the right people and they have the acting chops, it comes together. When you pick all the wrong people, they don't have the chemistry, they don't have the acting chops, it doesn't work. I've heard that a producer is looking into not necessarily revamping Fantastic Four, but making a Doctor Doom movie.
Yeah, the Doctor Doom movie. The picture that I saw of the Doctor Doom looked really, really good.
I think it's going to be really cool because what they were saying is they want to take it from that Doctor Doom perspective. Obviously, the Fantastic Four are going to be in it, right? But it's from... They want to do it more like Captain America Civil War, where it's like, yes, it's about the heroes, but it's also about like Europe at the time, and it's more of like a war movie. And then looking at Doom from like being in charge of a European nation and who he is, like what he's trying to do maybe for his people, but what he's trying to do for himself. So from that storyline. But again, here's the pitfall. They've got to recast for Fantastic Four. And so far, it's like Fantastic Four has this, I don't know, mark or something on it that they just can't quite seem to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked in the first set of movies, I thought The Thing was good. I mean, Jessica Alba is Jessica Alba. I don't know. She was okay, but I don't know that she was right exactly for that role.
I don't know.
Reed Richards, I don't think they've ever really...
When you look at the Fantastic Four, they're like the B superheroes.
Not really.
Not really. No, for a very long time.
They
yeah.
Were like the A-list.
Yeah, for a very long time they were the...
First.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yeah.
Big deal.
I would disagree. They were huge for a very long time.
Over like Spider-Man?
No, not over.
Not
Spider-Man.
over Spider-Man,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
close to him.
Come from the 70s and 80s. We've got the Fantastic Four
They've got
action hour, but no Johnny Storm because you don't want kids setting themselves on fire. You have Hobie the Robot.
they
Like-
have like longevity.
Like the Invisible Woman just seemed very flat. Like not much to her. But bump.
See what he did there? And again, I think that comes down to casting.
No, but not even casting. I'm talking about even in the comics. There really wasn't much to her. It's
Well, I mean, they're all. She and Reed are kind of like droll, scientific.
she's really hot.
Doesn't Reed kind of
Jessica
pontificate
Alba's really hot.
sometimes? Like he's very, I'm intelligent and. Yeah, I don't know that she had much depth, but then that's a whole different conversation about women in comics and whether they had depth and what they were meant to do and stuff like that. And if they were kind of an aside, that's a different conversation that we won't go into today. So I don't know. I think Fantastic Four will be a tough one to crack.
It's going to be hard to come from that last one.
It's going to be hard to come back from the last one. So I think that's a.
But like Sony still owns it, or
Fox.
Is it Fox? Fox owns it.
Yeah. Because again, the whole Disney Fox thing is still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that gets announced tomorrow, it'll all be no, cancel.
Cancel all that stuff. That's
I know
horrible.
people didn't like the first movie, but I liked it way better than that new thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, once you saw the new one, the first one was a heck of a lot better. And
Maybe the Silver Surfer one wasn't as great as the first one, but
yeah.
it was still better than this last one.
Menacing cloud.
But anything was better than this last one, and I it's hard for me to hate movies, and
Well, and I
that's
think
one of the movies that I hated.
I think what's changed too is now our expectation has changed, right? So now that we've seen some of these
And then
Marvel
we saw
movies
the one
being
that played Reed
spectacular.
Richard in that one, and then I see him as whatchamacallit from wasn't he Dauntless or something like that?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
I actually hated that movie so much I don't remember the people that acted. Like, it was that bad. Like, I don't remember who it was. I couldn't tell you who acted in that movie. I know that some of them have gone on to do other movies that people liked them in, but I don't know who.
But he was also in that movie with the girl, where she was dying, or they were both dying, or something. They had
like The Fault in Our Stars or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
he was in there as well.
So he just wasn't a good Reed Richards. Again, it's about casting them for those parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not good at that. Another franchise that I've thought has done well as far as casting. So we talked a little bit about Logan. And, Patrick Stewart, I think, is always going to be, Professor X for us. But I thought when they went backwards in those X-Men movies, I thought that they did a really good job of casting for Magneto and Professor X in the movies where they're their younger selves.
Yeah, I could see that.
I didn't really have any
I didn't
problems
have
with
any problem with
anybody that
either
they
of
cast.
those actors, no.
The only movie that I really had a problem with the casting in was the one that has Deadpool in it originally, but you don't really realize that he's Deadpool, and it had Gambit in it, and he wasn't super great as Gambit. I didn't buy him as Gambit. That was another Wolverine movie,
It was a
I
Wolverine
think, right?
movie, yeah.
Yeah. I thought the casting in that was kind of horrible.
I think the writing was kind of horrible.
Yeah. Well, and then therein lies some of that too, right?
I still liked it.
Did you?
I didn't like Deadpool, but I liked the movie.
Did you like Gambit though? I guess
We
because
didn't
I
get
always.
to see enough of Gambit.
No, we didn't see a whole lot of him, no. But I think too,
He's
some
like
of my
in what?
problem.
2 scenes.
Yeah, he's in a few. Yeah, a couple. I think some of my problem too is I grew up with these cartoon universes too being on, and so some of my expectation comes from the cartoon universe as well. And so, because I loved some of the cartoons like in the 80s and 90s, like I loved the X-Men cartoon.
The X-Men cartoon in the 80s and the 90s was, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's as close as you're going to get to the comic.
And I loved that thing, and I I have that idea of Gambit from there, and Wolverine from there, and Beast from there, and Professor X from there, so I have all of that, and Storm, and so I think some of these actors that they pulled in the live action remind me a lot of that cartoon, so I make a better connection with them. And then when they don't,
that's the thing with me and Wolverine and Hugh Jackman, because that Wolverine doesn't remind me of Hugh Jackman.
Dude, it totally does.
It doesn't.
Okay, we're all gonna agree that Vince doesn't know what he's talking about. We're gonna move on. Yeah, sometimes it's just the look.
Yeah, we have a man in the 90s says, yeah, that was a mediocre Gambit.
See? Thank you. Thank you. I like it when people agree with me. You know who's another character that I've seen recently that when I first saw in kind of like a movie universe, I thought, oh, this isn't bad because I didn't know any better, was Constantine. Yeah. So that first Constantine movie is Keanu Reeves. Yeah. And it's Keanu Reeves. Like, I love Keanu Reeves, right? He can do no wrong. Like, you know, Matrix, John Wick, like, I can, Lake House, I don't care. I can name Keanu Reeves.
As a movie in and of itself, it was a great movie.
It was good, right?
Yeah.
I totally liked it. Then they come out with the Constantine show. Okay, so we're checking it out. And I read some of the Constantine comics, and I'm like, holy cow.
It's totally different.
Totally different. And this dude, who they have found, and he's in the Legends of Tomorrow now, which I am so grateful for because I love him so much. He's totally, for me, Constantine. Yeah. Like, after reading some of the comics, watching him on the show.
If you haven't seen the show Constantine, you should definitely watch it. It's on the CW Seed. You should be able to see that free. Yeah. All the episodes that they had of Constantine.
I wish they would make new ones. I would totally watch that. If they made new ones, he is so good. And I hear, rumor has it, that on the season finale of Legends this year, they're going to have Jonah Hex. Mm-hmm. So...
He's been on before, though. Jonah Hex has been on before.
You thought the movie was awful? The Jonah Hex? That's a comic that I haven't read. In fact, I didn't even get that crossover. I did the crossovers when they did the crossovers with the Looney Tunes, and I didn't get the Jonah Hex Yosemite Sam crossover. I had looked for it, but I missed it.
Is it going to be the same actor that they had? Because Jonah Hex has been on Legends.
I would guess it's going to be the same actor, and I thought he was okay. Like, I haven't read the comics, so I don't have an expectation of who he should be. I just saw the movie, so it was... not too. What did you not like about the?
It's got our favorite Spice guy in it.
Oh.
A local Spice guy.
Yeah, I get it. I'm like, I get it.
Megan Fox.
Oh, our friend.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like and that's the thing too is.
You'll never be on our show.
Pay attention.
Never.
Focus. I think that's the thing,
that's
too.
That's directed to one person.
Is when you have when you're going in with a certain expectation. Stop. He's bad today, and you started it.
You start a Twitter war.
Stop it.
Controversy is good.
No. Cut it out.
Megan Fox, you can tell us off, too, because you were in that movie and you were awful.
Oh, Megan Fox is awful in everything she's in. She ruined Transformers.
She's good in certain movies.
You think she's got a nice tushy. She's got a lot of cellulite if you actually look. But anyway, it's not like I'm hating on her. We're going to move on to actors that ruin movies, not actors that make us want to rage quit life. Okay. Shoot. Now y'all derailed me and I forgot what we were talking about. So Jonah Hex. Oh, I know. I was going to say, I think this is hard because we all go into things with like different expectations, right? And so the director and the casting director and the producer, they go in with a different expectation too. but I think some of them, I feel like some of them have at least done their research or they cared about the subject matter. Like for Star Trek, I was like, please don't ruin Star Trek. Please don't ruin Star Trek. Like, please don't. Like, you're going to be Kirk and Spock and like Bones. Please don't ruin it. And they did a really good job.
Yeah,
they're super phenomenal. I love them. Like, they really caught the essence and like the humor. And
I don't know if people were as happy about Khan.
I don't think they were as happy about Khan, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't.
Ricardo Montalban.
Ricardo Montalban is only Ricardo Montalban. Like, he can only be him, and he was like kind of the campiest Khan ever. But you know, I think because he's
fake chest.
Yes, it was so weird, so weird. So I think that in trying to like modernize that, they went away from that. But I don't know. Like, Khan is that like villain that you like to make fun of. Like, he's the quintessential meme villain that you make everything out of, you know? So I don't know if anybody was too upset about that change. I mean, I'm sure some people were. I didn't care so much. I only cared about those main people. So,
yeah, but I think Kirk was Kirk.
Yes.
Spock was Spock.
Bones is Bones. I love Simon Pegg. He is my all-time favorite. In fact, I think we should go watch Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and have a Simon Pegg marathon. I will watch all of his stuff.
But I don't know that Simon Pegg was the original Scotty.
Yeah,
There's a big difference between him and Scotty.
Look-wise, but if he pulls off that characterization, that persona so well, you don't notice the look difference. To me, I don't. And maybe that's just because I really, really like Simon Pegg. But for me, his timing is down right. His jokes are right. He knows what he's talking about in the engine room. Like, it seems like, to me, he's Scotty. He has those interactions with the guys.
I think he is a Scotty character, and I don't mind him as Scotty, but I don't think he can...
I think between the reboot and the original, Scotty drank a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why he ended up the way he is.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was good. Like, I was really worried.
No,
I really
worried
liked
the
about
movie.
it. So, I thought it was
They didn't
good.
ruin that, but we have 6 minutes and we haven't even brought up Batman.
Okay, Batman starts a whole another slew of controversy.
Now we're gonna get some haterade.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, no, so okay, Batman is another twofold character like Superman. So you've got to look at, is the actor a good Bruce Wayne? Is the actor a good Batman? Because they're two different characters within the same character.
Yeah.
So you've got to have a strong acting chops to be able to do both. And it's funny because I'm going to tell you something about Gotham here in a minute. So of course Michael Keaton, right? We're growing up. Michael Keaton is it, right? That's who we know of first. He's not great, right? He's just not.
Compared to what we've had now, no, he's not great, but he was great then.
So we think he's great, right? We think he's pretty great. We're just excited to have a geek movie,
I think
right?
a lot that had to do with that was it being so dark.
And it's supposed to be
the first
dark.
one.
Like, it is supposed to. Every time I read something about Batman, I get that darkness. Like, it's very dark, right? To me, anyway. So, Michael Keaton is not great. He's okay. He's probably a better Bruce. He's a better Bruce than he is a Batman.
Who?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
He's a better Bruce Wayne than he is a Batman.
Yes.
Yes, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Val Kilmer.
Better Bruce than a Batman.
Better Bruce than a Batman.
Better Bruce than a Batman.
George Clooney.
Better nothing.
None.
No.
None of them. Sorry, George. Love you. No. Really bad. Awful. Like, no. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Better Batman.
Better Batman.
Than a Bruce.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because you didn't really see him much as Bruce.
Because I think he's a better Batman.
He's a better Batman.
He's just not Bruce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're going to make people angry.
Yeah.
Because we both agree.
Ben Affleck has got to be both.
Yeah.
He's both.
Yeah, he reminds me of Batman from Batman Beyond. Mm-hmm. He reminds me, he's Bruce and Batman. For me.
And that character is supposed to be at that age at that point.
Right.
He is an older
And again,
Batman.
I think it's drawing me back to this cartoon that I loved that is in my mind of that character. And I think for me, Ben Affleck does them both. And I know people hate him, and I don't know why. I just don't know why. They wanted to hate him from the get-go. They were all about hating him. I don't know why, because I really like him as Bruce and as Batman.
Yeah.
I do.
What do you think?
What do you think, Stuart?
He's alright. He's pretty good.
Who do you think was the... Did you agree with kind of our assessment of...
Yeah. Well, again, the only other one that was supposed to be Batman but never was Armie Hammer.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, Armie.
He might have done a pretty good job, actually. Yeah, he might have. After seeing him in that movie with Henry Cavill where they're the spies.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I can't remember the name of it. I'm forgetting everything.
He could have made it. Yeah, he
I think he could have done it.
Both.
I think he could have done
both.
Yeah. I think that might have been good. But I really like Ben. But speaking of somebody else in the Batman universe really quickly, and I don't know if it's just because I like this actor or because this movie was just like so campy, but I like really liked it and it reminded me of the cartoons also, is Danny DeVito as Penguin. He, to me, is like the perfect Penguin. And so when we watch Gotham, I'm always like comparing that kid to like Penguin, and he kind of does that. He
has that
like weird penguin-esque kind of, movements and mannerisms, and I think he's really great. Like, speaking of like if we go to the Batman universe and we talk about TV shows, because we did that kind of for Superman too, I am kind of in love with this whole Gotham show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really I'm glad that they changed. I'm kind of glad they changed Ivy. I thought they sent her forward a little too far. Like, I wish they would have made her just slightly younger. She was kind of in the age bracket with Selena Kyle before this new season, but I guess she wasn't where they wanted her. She was still too kiddish. They wasn't where they wanted her, and so now they've brought her so far forward. But I love Baby Bruce. You know who I don't like is Ra's al Ghul.
Oh yeah,
in Gotham.
And then they're saying that Ben Affleck was not Daredevil. No, not compared to the Daredevil that we have now. No.
If you look at the show, hands down, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's it for...
Sorry, we could talk about this for so long.
Yeah, we could probably talk about this for like 3 hours, but we're keeping it to 45 or close to it. But thanks for checking us out. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, please subscribe to us.
Yes.
If you like this show, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give us a thumbs down, but tell us why.
Don't do that.
Either
We're
way,
nice.
it's
You
an
like
interaction.
us.
So tell us why. We want to make this better for you.
Yeah.
And we're here to do that. So thanks for watching. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that's Stuart.
Geek out, SA.